Welcome everybody. It's been a while. So guys, I want to welcome you to my channel. I want to welcome you today to Igbo Shrine. My name is Chukwu and I'm the owner of this channel. So I specialize in, or let me say, I research Igbo spirituality and cosmology, and I visit my people, talk to elders, and also report whatever I found out to my viewers, to my readers, and to people that chat me up for more informations and guidelines towards the practice of ordinary. So if you're new to this channel, I'm going to like it if you're going to subscribe, share this video, and comment. Now for those of us that have video specifications, you can always chat me up and tell me about it, and I'm going to obviously work on that topic and tell you about my findings. So I'm going to go into the video. Please join me. Thank you. For today's topic, I'm going to be talking about Ekwensu and Alo-say. Now, these are very interesting and controversial topics that we have in Igbo spirituality as ordinary practitioners. Obviously, the white man came with his own interpretation, and unfortunately, we as Igbos allowed ourselves to be manipulated and accepted the white man interpretation of some of these concepts. So our job now is to know the real thing in the ancestral perception and teach these things to our kids, because if we don't socialize the next generation better, then we'd keep wallowing, we'll keep enduring this this cycle of indoctrination, this cycle of manipulations. So I want you to sit tight and let's kind of let me explain these two concepts, Alo-say and Ekwensu. In my blog, I titled it Alusi and Ekwensu, the marriage of two concepts. Let's enjoy this video. I'm going to start with the concept of Alo-say. Now, most of us now are not really aware that Alo-say, that the original name or what our ancestors called Alo-say is Arokose. Now, Alo-say is just like an abridged, they kind of cut out one of the names and I call it Alo-say. But what our ancestors knew it as was Alo-say. If you translate it to the English dictionary or to the English language, that it's going to mean let abomination stop. So whatever interpretation we're going to give, whatever English you're going to co-join to whatever I just said now, just know that the basis here is that they're trying to say, let there be no abomination. Now, other people also look at Alo-say as Ebe Alo-say, because as Igbos, we have this perception that the ideology, the phenomenon of Ekwensu was something we brought in and not really something that was originally an aspect of Igbo culture or Igbo spirituality. Now, these people that believe or kind of attach themselves to this school of thought believes that what Igbos did ab initio is the worship of Chukwu Kikabiam. Now, I say na Igbo na agom. You understand? I say Igbo ada aga Alo-say. Ni Igbo me na Igbo na agom. Now, what do we mean by Igbo na agom? We believe that the source, the supreme being, or Chukwu, God, as a, in the Judeo-Christianity, how they're going to explain it. We talk about God, they're talking about the source. What we call it Chukwu. We believe that what it is a more, something you don't understand, something you don't see, something we don't even have a physical manifestation of, but something we feel strongly about. Now, if you go to any Okumo, any Alo-say, before the priest or the whomever that is in charge of that shrine, that groove, would commence for the day, the person would first of all call on the source, being Chukwu Kike, come and bless the day. The person will start with Chukwu. There goes your boss that. Now, when they start with this, that's to tell you that ab initio, we Igbos worshipped and knew God before the white man came with their own interpretation of what God is. Now, The chief priest in charge starts with Chukwu. Then the next is to call the name of the deity that he or she is serving or presenting anything to. Now, if it is the one I've experienced, the master that with Chukwu now went to Edu, name Edu, come and do this, come and do that one, and the rest of it. And I'll call all the other spirits, all the entities that surrounds the primal deity that we are in her groove. Now, let's understand here that Alo-say now becomes an instituted authority. Now, why did they institute it? They did it because they want it to perform a certain function. Now, for families here that maybe they have issues with kids, it's child mortality or growth, productivity and the rest of it. The umuna, the kinsmen will come together and decide, okay, let us do this thing. Let us institute something that would help us to, to solve this particular problem that we're having. Now, in our own cosmology, the kind of Alo-say or the concept that they have here, or what they institute, is what we call akwali omo. The kinsmen will now bring in this Alo-say called akwali to come and help them with fertility. Now, most families are extracts or aspects of this deity, because the ancestors had issues with reproduction, fertility. They now instituted that concept, that Alo-say, to help them to to give birth, to help them, to make them, push them from point A to point B. Now, that's just the general thing of Alo-say. Alo-say comes to perform a function. Now, on a communal level, it could be something they're bringing in for protection, for guidance, for wealth, for the the growth of that community. Same thing if that Alo-say was instituted at a family or lineage level. Now, on a personal level, you can decide to institute one sort of concept to help you to solve a particular problem. Now, that's the idea behind the institution of every deity. Now, let's talk about Ekwensu. I have a video on Ekwensu already, so you can always, I'm going to put the link around here for you to just basically watch, and it's going to be at the end of the video for you to also watch what I said about Ekwensu. Now, talking about Ekwensu now, in Judeo-Christianity, they've actually positioned Ekwensu to be God's rival, the great deceiver, whatever name or whatever tag they're deciding to just attach to what Ekwensu is. Now, maybe in the Christian sense, the devil is what it is. But coming to Igbo spirituality or Igbo culture, referring to or kind of comparing or bringing these two concepts together, Ekwensu, the devil, it doesn't just make sense. Because Ekwensu is not the devil. Now we look at the characteristics or what the devil represents in Judeo-Christian sense. Now, to them now, the devil now, he started a war, a coup in heaven before he was sent down to earth to demonize, to manipulate people, to, tell people what to do, give people false powers, turn people's mind away from God. That's the Judeo-Christian sense. But in Igbo spirituality, Ekwensu itself, it's not even God's rival, but God's right-hand man, the Agbara, that makes sure that God's or Chukwu's will comes to fruition. The deity or Agbara that would insist that this is the word or this is the decree of Chukwu and it must come to pass. Now, this doesn't mean somebody is fighting God. To us, this person, this concept, Ekwensu, it's trying to ensure God's enforcer enforce the will of God. While on the other hand, the devil becomes an antichrist to whatever thing they believe in. So we see that there is a mix-up here. So when people look at when us as Igbos try to always call the devil whenever there is some sort of thing that happens, and we say Ekwensu ajibakwage, Ekwensu whatever, Ekwensu that, Ekwensu that, we're making a huge mistake. Now, Ekwensu, on the other hand, to us basically happens to be the deity of justice, bargain, and war. So basically, Ekwensu on its own has this very violent aspect of it. Some even call it the trickster deity. But it doesn't trick you, because we have something we call Ekwe Osu. That's just determined. That's what the word Ekwensu means. You need to allow Ekwensu to manifest before it would manifest. Now, if you don't allow Ekwensu to manifest, it will not manifest. When we talk about this, I'm sounding very Christian here, but what do we even actually mean by you have to allow it to manifest? When we talk about war, when we talk about bargains, if you want to bargain with somebody, you're trying to strike a deal. This is what is going to happen. This is what is not going to happen. And that person goes contrary to that bargain or contracts you kind of had with that person. Now, if it is kind of, you kind of cemented it with Ekwensu, it comes to ensure that nobody is cheated out of this deal, that everybody's honor or everybody is going to basically get whatever they are owed, whatever is due to them. That's its work when it comes to bargain. Talk about the deity of crossroads. Talk about the deity of war. Now, Ekwensu being something, a phenomenon or a concept that is violent in nature. This is where this thing comes. This is where it comes in now. So when we talk about Ekwensu being violent, it's always it's very agile. Just like Ikenga. My people have an adage, I say again, Ikenga nada bogo, awayenko. When an Ikenga is not vibrant, then you have to convert it to firewood. Same thing here. Ikenga is something that is how do I put it now? It pushes you, it vibrates you to a very good level. Now, Ekwensu itself is a very violent entity. It doesn't take things from anybody. That's why they'll tell you that even spirits and extent fears this Agbara that we refer to as Ekwensu. Now when we talk about Alo-say and Ekwensu, the marriage of these two concepts or phenomena, what it is actually. Now, when we talk about Alo-say, to an extent we think Alo-say is just one entity, one spirit. But I found that it's not actually true. Alo-say has a particular Alo-say has a collective or a community of spirits that works for it or for him or for her. For instance, now, some of the places I've been to, they will tell you this is the Edo. That's her grove, her shrine. This is Alo-say Edo. This is Oyimire Edo. This is Ude Edo. This is Oda Edo. Now, each of these entities or aspects, what do they actually do? When we talk about Udo Edo, we're talking about an entity that mediates for peace. Now, you come to Nne Edo Navy, as how we call it in my place. You come for maybe you're being wronged by your kinsman, your whoever. Now, you're talking to Edo. They will tell you if you're done with her, go to her Udo. The Udo becomes the emissary that the main primal deity Edo would commission to go and do this for her. Now, some have said that Edo herself, doesn't actually strike people. She doesn't have the hearts or tendency to kill people. You know, women, to an extent, we are very, motherly, calm. But as some of the deities that are female deities, they don't care. They would literally kill you. For instance, in my place, we have a deity we call Mbokwa Ochiogo. The name Ochiogo. She's a female deity. But according to the story that I heard, you don't joke with any woman. Once she's in her husband's house and you try to maltreat her, this particular deity, Mbokwa Ochiogo, will basically go to action. Okay, now, for instance, I was in her groove a few weeks back. Now, this lady came and she was having issues in her husband's house. Now, she came to the deity to report the issues. The deity, after she couldn't even talk, you can actually, I wrote this story on my blog. So you can actually visit my blog and read up on this story. So when she has done trying to, report the case to the deity, now immediately this lady left. There is a particular place that was commissioned for Ekwensu Mbokwa. That place, it was instituted under an Okpaka tree. Now, something that was very intriguing, probably the next time I go there, they will allow me to take a video of that particular tree. It was as if the tree was hallowed inside it, and an anthill developed inside that tree. When it was fascinating when I saw it. So immediately this woman left. That particular Okpaka tree started letting it soothe. Like the seeds were literally coming out, and us the way were hearing the Okpaka sounding, I saying Okpaka na ba 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 ba. So people around were like, Omo, that this family here, that this particular deity Ekwensu is very angry at the situation. That was the interpretation people around were giving. But this is what happens. So we talk about the marriage of two. Every deity especially deities that are not really known for being violent or war deities, actually have an instituted concept that is called Ekwensu attached to that particular deity. Now it becomes two sides of a coin, just like Ogugunudo. My people will tell you, Onye Joro Ogugu Gekwelu Udo. What does that mean? Ogugu, as herself, she's very maternal. She doesn't really have the tendency to kill people, the tendency to be violent. Her own job is to guide you like a mother. Now, when you like get to a point where she really needs to take deadly actions, that's where her Udo comes in. Now, this pair are actually husbands and wife. That's very intriguing. So the same thing here we have with Alusi and Ekwensu. Ekwensu is already an Agbara, but to an extent, it always attaches itself. Our people attach it to a particular deity to kind of give an extra boost when it comes to a deity being very agile, being very functional in terms of getting justice. That's where this concept comes in. So the marriage of these two in our own personal life, it actually tells us here that we all have two phases. The first one, as a whole, we have this very soft-spoken side. Then the other part of it, we also have the very violent, deadly aspect of us. That's why they tell that human beings are very unpredictable. Because no matter how good a person is, the person has a very violent tendency, which over time, we tend to numb down, kind of bring it down and not trying to boost it up. That's why to some people, they will tell that the concept of the devil and the concept of Jesus Christ is one and the same thing. That it's just two sides of a coin, two manifestations in one. So that's the interpretations people try to give it. Now, to our own personal life here, let us use our own personal life or this marriage between Ekwensu and different Alo-says within each communities to actually bring it out to our personal life and understand that same thing as any dibia. Any dibia that has the tendency to actually help you, untie you from any charm, also have the tendency to be able to tie you down because they know the truth. So let me get back to the topic. I'm almost concluding, so let me get back to the topic here. Now, I've actually witnessed all those things. So most times when you come to any Oku to basically talk about any case, maybe somebody wronged you, when you're done talking to the main deity of that group or shrine, they will direct you to say, okay, oh yeah, go over there, talk to the Ekwensu that is attached to that particular deity. Now, in some cases, if there are like situations where maybe somebody has wronged you, somebody is owing you, refuse to pay, or there's something like that is very, very grievous, this is where the Ekwensu aspect of that deity comes in. So guys, I'm going to stop here, and if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe, and if you've subscribed, don't forget to also share this video, comment and like, and until next time, Yagaziem. Bye.